Welcome to this comprehensive lecture on how to commercialize your inventions and license patents. Whether you're a student or scientist, this guide will show you the path from lab to market. The journey from research to market involves several critical steps: invention, patent protection, and commercialization. Today we'll explore this entire pipeline. First, let's understand what intellectual property really means and why it matters for commercialization. Intellectual property, or IP, protects your creative and inventive work from being copied or used without permission. The main types of intellectual property include patents for inventions, trademarks for brands, and copyrights for creative works. A patent grants you exclusive rights to make, use, and sell your invention for typically 20 years from the filing date. The value of a patent can be estimated as the market size multiplied by the exclusivity period you can maintain. Let's walk through the actual process of obtaining a patent for your invention. The patenting process has 4 main stages: documenting your invention, conducting a prior art search, filing the application, and waiting for the grant. Step 1 is to document your invention thoroughly. Keep detailed lab notebooks with dates, signatures, and witness confirmations. Step 2 involves searching existing patents and publications to ensure your invention is truly novel and non-obvious. Step 3 is filing your application. A provisional patent gives you a year to prepare the full non-provisional application. The cost of obtaining a patent typically ranges from $5,000 to $15,000, including attorney fees and filing costs. Now let's examine what makes a patent valid and how to write strong patent claims. For a patent to be granted, your invention must meet 3 key requirements: novelty, non-obviousness, and utility. These 3 requirements form the foundation of patent law. All 3 must be satisfied for a valid patent. Patent claims are the most critical part of your application. They define the exact legal boundaries of what you own. Claim strength can be thought of as the scope of protection divided by how different you are from prior art. Broader claims are stronger, but harder to get. Here's an important question. Should you write broad or narrow patent claims? The answer is both. Start with broad independent claims, then add narrow dependent claims that include additional features. This gives you layered protection. Before commercializing, you need to understand where your technology stands in terms of readiness for market. Technology readiness levels, or TRL, range from 1 to 9. Early stages are basic research, middle stages are prototyping, and high levels mean market-ready products. TRL levels 1 through 3 represent basic research, typically conducted at universities and research institutions. TRL 4 through 6 involve technology development and validation, often the domain of startups and early-stage companies. TRL 7 through 9 represent production-ready technology, suitable for full commercialization. Most university technology sits at TRL 2 through 4, requiring significant development investment before commercialization. Before licensing or commercializing, you must assess the market potential and value of your invention. Start by calculating the total addressable market, or TAM, which represents the total revenue opportunity available. TAM equals the total number of potential customers multiplied by the price per unit. The market can be broken down into TAM, which is total addressable market, SAM, which is serviceable addressable market, and SOM, which is serviceable obtainable market, or your realistic share. Let's work through an example. Suppose you've invented a new battery technology with 50% more capacity. If there are 100 million devices using similar batteries at $50 per battery, your TAM is $5 billion. A rough patent valuation might be 5% of TAM, giving you a value of about $250 million. Now here's a critical question. Is this valuation realistic for early-stage technology? The answer is no. You must heavily discount this for technical risk, market risk, and the time value of money. The risk-adjusted value equals future value divided by 1, plus the discount rate to the power of time, multiplied by probability of success. There are several distinct pathways you can take to commercialize your invention. You have 3 main pathways: licensing your patent to existing companies, starting your own company, or selling the patent outright. Pathway 1 is licensing. You grant rights to an established company while maintaining ownership of the patent. Pathway 2 is starting your own company. This gives you maximum control but requires significant time and capital. Pathway 3 is selling the patent outright for a lump sum payment. This provides immediate returns but gives up future upside. Generally, licensing provides better risk-adjusted returns than startups unless your probability of startup success is very high. Let's dive deep into patent licensing, which is often the best option for academics and researchers. Licensing means you grant another party the right to use your patent while you retain ownership of the underlying intellectual property. In a license agreement, the licensor grants rights to the licensee in exchange for financial compensation in the form of royalties or fees. There are two main types of licenses. Exclusive licenses grant rights to only one licensee, while non-exclusive licenses can be granted to multiple parties. Exclusive licenses typically command fees at least twice as high as non-exclusive licenses because of the monopoly rights granted. Understanding royalty structures is crucial for negotiating favorable license agreements. Royalty rates typically range from 2 to 10% of net sales, depending on the industry and the value the patent provides. The royalty payment equals net sales multiplied by the agreed royalty rate. Royalty income typically grows over time as the licensee scales production and market penetration increases. Let's calculate royalties for a medical device patent. Suppose the device sells for $1,000. The device price is $1,000 per unit. Annual sales are 10,000 units. You negotiate a 5% royalty rate. Your annual royalty income would be 1,000 times 10,000 times 0.05, which equals $500,000. Beyond royalties, license agreements often include upfront fees and milestone payments. Upfront fees are lump sum payments made at the beginning of the license agreement. They provide immediate capital to cover patent maintenance and development costs. Milestone payments are triggered by specific achievements like prototype completion, clinical trials, regulatory approval, or product launch. Total deal value equals upfront payment plus the sum of all milestone payments plus the integral of royalty payments over time. Typical upfront fees range from $25,000 to $500,000, depending on patent strength and market potential. How do you actually find companies interested in licensing your patent? Strategy 1 is to identify companies already operating in your technology space. They understand the market and have distribution channels. Strategy 2 involves attending industry conferences and trade shows where you can network with potential licensees. Strategy 3 is leveraging technology transfer offices at universities. They have established relationships with industry and licensing expertise. Building a strong network in your field is essential. Each contact can lead to multiple potential licensees through referrals. When you find interested parties, negotiation skills become critical. The key terms you must negotiate include the royalty rate, upfront fees, exclusivity provisions, and sub-licensing rights. You should also negotiate geographic territory, specific fields of use, and minimum annual royalty guarantees. Successful negotiation finds the agreement zone where both parties' interests overlap. Start high, but be prepared to compromise. An important question: when should you walk away from a license negotiation? Walk away when terms significantly undervalue your intellectual property or when exclusivity clauses limit valuable future opportunities. If you're at a university, understanding the technology transfer process is essential. Universities typically own inventions made using their facilities, funding, or resources under the Bayh-Dole Act. Inventors typically receive 30 to 50% of licensing revenues after university expenses are recovered. The Technology Transfer Office, or TTO, acts as intermediary between inventors and companies, handling negotiations and legal agreements. Technology transfer offices provide patent filing, marketing to industry, license negotiation, and ongoing agreement management. The typical timeline from invention disclosure to signed license agreement is 6 to 18 months, sometimes longer for complex technologies. Starting your own company is an alternative to licensing that offers different advantages and risks. Starting a company gives you full control over your invention, unlimited financial upside potential, and ability to make fast decisions. However, startups carry high failure risk, require significant capital investment, and demand enormous time commitment. Startups often face the valley of death, where development costs are high, but revenues haven't started. This is where most fail. The probability of startup success is roughly 10 to 20%, meaning most startups fail to achieve their goals. Whether licensing or starting a company, you need funding to bridge from lab to market. Grant funding like Small Business Innovation Research and Small Business Technology Transfer programs provide non-dilutive capital from federal agencies. SBIR Phase 1 grants provide up to $250,000, while Phase 2 can provide up to $1 million. Multiple funding sources exist, including grants, angel investors, venture capital, and corporate partnerships. Each has different requirements and expectations. Angel investors typically invest $100,000 to $2 million in early-stage ventures in exchange for equity. Venture capital provides $2 million to $20 million for scaling proven concepts with clear paths to large returns. Once you have a patent or license, ongoing protection is critical. File continuation patent applications to expand coverage as your technology evolves and new applications emerge. Actively monitor competitors for potential patent infringement. Early detection makes enforcement easier and less costly. Build a patent portfolio with a core patent surrounded by related patents covering improvements, applications, and manufacturing methods. Budget approximately $10,000 in maintenance fees over the 20-year life of a patent to keep it in force. For global markets, international patent protection becomes important but expensive. The Patent Cooperation Treaty, or PCT, streamlines international patent filing by allowing a single application to cover multiple countries. International patent protection costs range from $100,000 to $500,000, depending on how many countries you file in. International patent protection is essential for global markets, but comes at significant cost. In conclusion, commercializing inventions and licensing patents is a complex process that requires careful understanding of intellectual property, patent protection, and market valuation. By following these steps and strategies, you can protect your inventions and turn them into successful products and services that benefit society and generate revenue.